Okay, so in this last video, I was just talking about the Metellus and how to talking about cures. People are looking for cures on the Metellus. I don't really believe they are. I think they're just fucking on me, but it's fun for me to be able to talk about it anyway. Alright, so I was telling you in the last video about some things that excite the Metellus, make it stronger, and one of those things was emotions. Emotions can change the reactions and the lifespans of the Metellus. It can excite them, some of the same way I'm telling you about the light spectrums, right? I'll try to finish answering that. This is one of Ziggy's questions, and I'm going to answer one of 666's questions. And the finish to Ziggy's question is that there's thousands of ways, tens of thousands of ways of killing this Metellus. They've been around all the time. You guys, you're older than me, Ziggy. You guys are the ones that fucked up before we fucked up. My generation, I blame just as much. Don't worry, but I mean, you guys were first, and you guys did a lot of fucking stupid shit and turned your heads and blind eyes to a lot of dumb shit. It was your parents that were still doing things more correctly, way more correctly than we are now today, as far as all the Metellus goes and all this stuff. So in the last video, I was explaining that if you add fear to the system, fear and anxiety, you increase the Metellus. They do that all the time to us. I don't have to tell you all the ways. You know all the ways that they do that. You just are in denial of them, and you think that there's actually reason behind them. You think that there was a reason behind, let's say the terrorist bullshit, right? We get the terrorist bullshit stories about all this, so that people cannot even speak. You can't even say the word without being tracked down by a fucking secret agent and talked to and possibly thrown into prison for saying this word and all this kind of shit, right? And they're around every corner. You can't see them because they blend right in with the system, and they've been doing this for a long time. I mean, back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, they were already doing this. They were just doing it on more of a bio scale, it seems to me, with the fear, with causing fear in people in order to have the reactions that they wanted. And I was saying earlier about the churches and stuff like that giving good, positive energy, and they did. That's a strange thing, They always want this positive and negative. They don't just only want negative. The system needs the positive and negative. The fake system I'm talking about. The fake system that we fuck with because we do all these things to change the frequencies, but for some reason we work both sides of the energy. We work the positive and the negative. It's kind of strange. But either way, they're lies, so I don't want to deal with it. I'd rather just have the fucking truth, and then we can decide on how we're going to direct the energy and how we're going to do it ourselves instead of all this nonsense. Why pray to a God that's not what, if God is not what we were told and the way we see him as, here I am still calling him a him, right? Because it's the way my program was. It's not like that. It's an energy. It's not like that. He doesn't even work that way. So I never get to finish my fucking thoughts because the video ends up ending. I'll ramble on and on and on, and then I'll get lost, and then the original thought never gets told. It's just my personality. So there are all these different energies that you can use to experiment with on the Metellus, so that you'll see what it is I'm trying to explain to you. I'm explaining it to you not as a teacher, a guide, a prophet, a know-it-all, or anything, even though it may sound that way, because I have all this arrogance and anger in me, and it comes out when I'm speaking. But you can just see it for yourself. You know what I mean? You can just go and feel it for yourself. You can. You don't need me to show it to you, really. It's always been there. I'm just trying to help you to stop denying it. Is that the better way to put it? So I have to be the negative. I have to be the negative energy, and you're the positive energy, thinking that fiction is somehow reality. You think it's non-fiction, but non-fiction, science fiction, fiction, it's all the same. So, I can tell you for sure that fear and anxiety excites these things. They like it. They enjoy it. Peacefulness, tranquility, and happiness, the other different emotions that cause different electrical reactions in your body, that will, it backs them off. I don't know if it kills them, it backs them off. That's why I was trying to compare it in an earlier video to the vinegars, because vinegars only push them away slowly. It's they don't like the taste of it, so they go away. It's the same thing with the emotion of happiness and joy and things of that nature. You know what I mean? I don't want to get to love yet, because there's other emotions that are beyond happiness that also change things and make it different. And I'll try to use a couple examples of that. Okay, so happiness and joy. You just got a new car or some material object that made you happy or something like that. That would be considered happiness. I don't want to, you're not really in love, even though you may say you love your car, and you may say that, you love having your motorcycle or whatever. But that's not, that's not what it really is. You're just using it as a word to describe, exaggerate how you feel. Let's put it that way. So that doesn't really kill them, but what it does do, I don't believe it does anyway. I think it just backs them off. I think they just start slowly going away if they feel that you're happy all the time, and you be sending positive energy through your body. And maybe one of the reasons why meditation works, yoga works, all these other things work. Now you can pull sound resonance into those same thing when you're praying and when you're meditating and things like that, and you're making that well, there's certain sound frequencies in making that humming sound. It's not a word. They're not words. Words are useless. All that that they do in church and everything, that's just human jibber jab. If anything, any of the sound resonance that come from doing that, but it sounds very disturbing to me. I don't know what the Metellas do to it, because I've never tried it or experimented with it. But I can guarantee you that the humming, the peacefulness, that's another emotion that also backs them off. It's different than happiness, and it's not quite as the same as love. It's a tranquil, relaxed feeling. It's a little different than happiness, but not quite the same thing as true love. Okay. All right. Then you have love itself, right? Then you have what you would call love, and we could go the other way too. I mean, I can go all the way back to hatred. They love hatred. Hatred, they're fucking all over it, man. When you have hatred, they fucking go to town on you. Every single one of them, it seems like it'll feel like every one of them is on your ass, right? Okay, and then talking about the Metellus right now, and then love. So let's keep going to the positive one. So love causes an energy that it seems to me, it appears to me, you can investigate for yourself and you can use your own judgment, but it seems the evidence to me is that love kills them. The energy that your body creates when you feel true emotions of love. I'm not talking about meeting some chick that you want to bang and you tell her you love her because you want to fuck her for a few months and then move on, which has pretty much been the story of my life. That's why I'm using that story. There are certain connections, there were certain relationships, whether it be girlfriends, friends, relatives, people that you just met for 2 minutes. There were certain energies that were passed. Those were love energies. That was love, and therefore the Metellus during those times will die off quickly. They have a quick die-off. I'm not claiming that it kills eggs and larvae. Again, that's for you scientists to all figure out, but I know that it has a kill-off effect on the Metellus. Okay. Then you have deep sorrow, right up there with love. Deep sorrow also kills them off. Deep sorrow causes an energy. So again, when I was talking earlier about the anxiety one, I mean, you would think that anxiety and sorrow go together, but they're not. They're different energies. And these different energies, we call them emotions, but these different emotions that our body can change our electrical ability, okay? And then, as Harold was trying to explain, if you change the elements, if you have too much mercury in your body, mercury reflects current, right? And then you have aluminum in your body, and the aluminum is more or less absorbing the current, okay? You don't have the right heavy metal balance that even if you feel the emotion of love or happiness or sorrow, now that energy is wasted because that energy comes into the body, and because your body doesn't have the proper elements to do what it needs to do with that energy that you're creating, that your body is creating from those emotions, then it's wasted. Some of it's dampened, some of it is reflected and refracted back out into the system and is not even entered into your body, right? You could do that on a bioscale by just putting your hands over your ears and not listening to a negative message, something that's going to make you feel negative. And you know that what the message is, right? You know what the message is because maybe you're seeing it in writing on the TV screen, but yet you cover your ears because you don't want to hear what the reporter is telling you. You can't stand to hear that 13 children under the age of 7 have all just been murdered, right? You can't handle it. Your mirror neuron's going to kick in. Your mirror neuron manipulator is going to be forced to kick in, and you're going to be in denial in every which way. You're going to have to blame it on everybody, but who to really blame it on? You're going to have to blame it on because your mind's going to be going like this, saying, "I cannot deal with this. There's no fucking way." All this shit has an effect on the Metellus, and the Metellus has a huge effect on us. It's an electromagnetic nanocarbon system, people. It's all one. If you tell 7.8 billion people to all be afraid, that they're all under the, worry about death, and they're gonna all lose their family members and everything, then you can't tell it to them directly. If you do, they do not listen and they do not believe you. Ziggy, what am I at for time? Ziggy, I want to mention this one because I like your age group. I like your age group. You guys were so full of shit and you lied to all your fucking children and grandchildren so bad. I know it's going to hurt your feelings a little bit, but you're the one that accepted all those lies. You guys are the ones that believed it all and kept going down those roads. You're the ones telling your parents, no, Mom and Dad, the electricity's a good thing. No, that sound frequency and those sine waves are fine. That music that we're listening to that's coming out, no, 60 hertz, thumbs up, baby, thumbs up on that 60 hertz. You know, you guys were doing that before my generation was. You guys were turning a blind eye to all this way before me. So that's why I'm bringing this shit up to you. The fact that you turned a blind eye to all these things over the years and passed on all the lies and figuring them out and everything, you were just going along with fucking up the energy as well for every time you did these things. And now here we are in the Lion Mama COVID-19 virus pandemic, right? I'll use it as another example so I can show you where I'm going with all this. Okay, the Lion Mama COVID-19, all these years later after World War II, is that what you said your father was in World War II? So you looked up to those World War II heroes, and I understand your situation. Just like when people hear me talking about the law, they think I'm ranking on police officers. I'm not. I'm just trying to point out and show you that it's all part of this fucking system and it's fucking us all up. We go along with these fucking lies and we continue to go along with the lies. It's not a good idea. Okay, so taking it back to World War II. Everybody came home from that war and we started up what was called the baby boom, right? You're one of the baby boomers, you said, right? Okay, so all the baby boomers, we knew all along, and it was said directly right in front of your fucking faces over the years, and you said it was a conspiracy. I'm not sure if you yourself claimed that it was a space alien conspiracy, but you definitely claimed conspiracy on all this. And I'm trying to explain nicely why you're wrong. You know, it was not a... it sucks because we've all been so fucking programmed. It really fucking blows. Because when I'm talking to you about conspiracies, you're thinking government conspiracies. You're thinking, oh no, it's not a government conspiracy, this war, this stuff really happened and this guy was really in power. And no, I'll believe it or not, a lot of that is even not true. There's a lot of it's lies, and you're not going to want to realize that because you've been programmed to think that it was all about him. You think that it was all about him, your boy with the mustache. You know, so you think Adolf was some kind of evil ruler or what? No, he's just somebody that was put in place by the fake ass fucking system, just like all the other ones. Some play the good guy, some play the bad guy, positive and negative, back and forth, right? Okay. So during this time, since that World War II, other generations have come along and they've told you that baby boomers, we cannot carry you, Mom and Dad. Your kids might have told you at some point. We're not going to be able to afford to carry your generations. Even though you worked all your lives to the slave system, to this bullshit system that lies, all the fucking lying motherfuckers, and you poured, 60 years of your blood, sweat, and tears, as you like to call it on the bio, and your energy is what I would call it, into this fake ass system. In other words, you wasted all your energy on this fake ass fucking system trying to accumulate and teach me and my sister to accumulate things that were of material value, I guess. For some reason, these material things, for some reason, mean something to me. I must have been programmed to believe that because they actually don't. And what had happened is that there was too many of you coming out of World War II, Dad and Mom. And coming out of World War II, they encouraged everybody in the fake system to have a bunch of babies and join the workforce, and let's all work together to make money. And this wasn't just America. This was every fucking country. This was actually a stemmed off idea from other countries, from Europe, in our case. But it didn't originate from there. Let's tell you that too. But anyways, again, I'll run off onto Japan and the Asian countries, and then you and I will be arguing about history, and you'll say no. So I won't bother. I'll just continue on with letting you know that this was all a plan. The Lion Mama Kona 19 virus, they cannot allow the baby boomers to all stay alive. They could not. They needed a virus that was going to take out more than usual. All of the other pneumonias that were already in play, Lion Mama Kona just being one of them, hundreds of pneumonias, and the Lion Mama Kona 19 virus is just one of them. And it was the one that was chosen to take out of the box. So if we change the frequency and we change the light spectrum, now that happened right in front of your eyes, your generation, right in front of your eyes, because the mineral streets, what I call mineral streets, Harold will call chemtrails, they've been going on for fucking 60 plus years. I can prove with movies and television, just like you can do, and go back and look at them, and you'll see that the trails were already happening way back then. So the pneumonias that they weren't dropping them on our head, by the way. That's not the way this works. What they were doing was changing our light spectrum. They were changing and encouraging tree growth in one area and non-tree growth in another area. This way one area absorbs the natural electromagnetic current that's coming through the system, and another area will now reflect that current that's coming through that's always been there. These things have always been there. All they're doing, whoever they is, us, we, how do I know it's we? Because 7.8 billion of these fucking zombies have been looking up at the sky and seeing it for a long time. And for the last 15 years of it, it's been shoved down their fucking throat by anybody in their family. But what happens? Chemtrails. Never heard of it. Michael, that's just fucking airplanes. Michael, those are ice crystals. Michael, all the fucking bullshit stories that we can argue back and forth that make absolutely no sense, but yet we're gonna fucking argue about them? No. Go see it for yourself. They won't do it. They won't look. Just same way that you won't look at any of these clouds and any of the research that I'm showing you today. You guys will do is you'll come in, especially 666, you did it to me the other day, which I asked for it, I guess. Anyways, I asked for it myself. But you'll come in and you'll take one image out of one. You watch my videos for 5 minutes. You take one image, make a declaration on it. Lizard, right? See the lizard, and you can try to use your imagination to make a lizard. There's no lizard. It's a human face right there. And then there's another human face. Eye, big ass fucking schnoz with a mouth. So you can try to make other images out of them. They always come back to feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. They're always going to fall on that fucking list, but you have to look. You can't come in for 5 minutes and look and make a determination on what 10 trillion fucking trillions and about hundreds of trillions of images look like. It doesn't take long, people. We're talking about a few months to see that many images because they're everywhere. So I'm only asking you to look at the ones that don't have human influence. That's even less, because everything's going to show the imagery. I'm trying to get you to stick to trees, landscapes, skies, clouds, the moon, things that you would consider natural, right? I'll have fun later, and I'll go in on a lot of shit with human influence that people will probably enjoy more because it seems more like entertainment to them, so they'll like it more. Like when I start going in on things that have been severely humanly influenced, you know. Somebody had to make the paint. Somebody made, a chemist made the paint and got brought to a painter, and then the painter did the mural or the painting. And then inside the painting, when you look down deep, now you got to remember somebody made that canvas that the painting is now being painted on. And when you look into all of it, you can still see the fucking system. You still see the feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. Just like we saw in Harold's microscope, right? I've been showing you guys. What has it got? 6 views? 6 of you have looked at it? No, actually 3 of you have looked at it, because I looked at it myself 3 fucking times, and I'm amazed why thousands of people are not over there looking at it. It's amazing to me. So you see the imagery down in his hydrogen rocket microscope, and the guy spent, was it 1 week or 2 weeks? 2 weeks looking into this microscope, 5 days straight, non-stop, staring into this microscope to show you the space alien powder. Okay, well, why didn't he fucking look a little harder to see that it's filled with this imagery of feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast? The same feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast that we see from the veil to the ground. No one thinks to think of that. No one thinks to look at that. No one thinks to mention it. Fuck no. No. We gotta go to the movies tonight. Movies are on. That big fucking space alien flick playing at the fucking local theater. That's what we're gonna go to. Where the fuck did I run off from this time? I don't even fucking remember now. It's the fucking story of my life. So Ziggy, the fucking evidence has always been there. The cures, 666, the cures have always been there. Everything I'm showing you is nothing new under the sun. You've all been denying it your entire time. Oh, that's what I was saying about the Lion Mama Conan 19. So here you are, Ziggy, you're going to act all surprised about the Lion Mama Conan 19 when really you were told up front for the last 30 years, more or less, in your face, saying that we could not allow the baby boomers to retire. Remember hearing that over and over and over again? Yes, I understand that on all your television channels and the news and everything, they were pretending to have ways. But you knew in your mind that there was really no way that you were going to make this happen, right? Think about it. You were the baby boomers, and you know arithmetic. You know arithmetic according to you. I don't know shit, and you guys are the geniuses. So if you know math, right, everyone in your family had anywhere from your family's generation, your generation's families, they all had, because they were baby boomers, we were going to say, 6 to 12 on average? So 6 to 12 children per family on average during that baby boom, right? Largest baby boom ever, they claimed. That's what they told us. So it was the largest baby boom ever. Okay. So all the generations after, all the way down to now, had 1 to 2 children per family, right? Think about it. But yet you somehow believed on the news that 1 to 2 children per family was somehow going to cover all the baby boomers being born. At that time, the baby boomers were being born, right? So you believed all those stories coming down the line that, don't worry, I know you're hearing these stories on the news, and don't worry about it, because your children's taxes will then pay for your retirement. Don't worry. It didn't add up to you. It didn't. You calculate, and you didn't think to yourself, well, wait a minute. What's going to happen by the time 2020 gets here? I'm going to be going into retirement, and I worked hard all my fucking life. As a matter of fact, I worked past, what did you say? Well, 3 years past your retirement, and you're still working, right? Right. So 3 years past retirement, you're still going to be fucking working, and you are counting on all the next generations after you to pay for your retirement and these supposed taxes that you pay, because at times fucking everywhere you fucking look, you're getting taxed, right? Lies, but lies that you should have known, you should have seen. And then the little dabs of truth that they threw in at you here and there, and here you considered those the conspiracies. You said, people came out and said, oh no, what's going to happen is they'll have a major pandemic or an epidemic or something before the baby boomers get to retire. Don't worry, because if the baby boomers ever got to retire, they would destroy the world economy, right? Think about those words, right? That's what they said to you. And what did you say? What did you say to all that? Who did you agree with? I guess it don't really fucking matter, does it? Because here we are, sitting in the middle of a fucking electromagnetic fucking nano metellus pandemic that everyone's referring to a bio fucking problem, right? And who's it killing? Who's it killing? Who's it knocking out? Yeah, all your fucking family, right? All your fucking baby boomers. Yes. Don't worry, it's the same with my family too. They're killing everybody off, and it's not just a lion mama Kona, baby. It's not just a lion mama Kona. Just to let you know, maybe that'll make you feel a little better. Okay, the lion mama Kona 19 virus is only one of the many, many respiratory metellus that is killing everyone right now, and no one's paying attention to any of the other ones. I'll give you an example of that. You do the same thing for your family. Next time you email me, I want a response from you on this. I won't respond to your emails, but I will in the videos. You write to me an email. As a matter of fact, you know what? I can't allow you to do that anymore because I'm not even going to open my emails anymore. You know what, Ziggy? I'm going to have to force you to the box. You're going to have to fucking respond to me through the bell. I can read my messages at the bell, but I cannot respond to them at the bell. I would respond to them in a video form like now. And I wanted to know something from you. And I'll tell you my story first. In the last 2 years, my wife's side of the family, let me make sure I'm not exaggerating. 1, 2, 3. Okay, all over the earth, though. They're not just in the United States. They're all over the earth. And I want to say 9. 9 family members died in the last 2 years. Out of those 9, now, in the last year, there was 4 of them. Just in the last year out of the 9, okay? I'm telling you in the last year because that's when the Lion Mama Kona 19 bullshit hit the news. When it hit the news and everyone started wearing the masks, and from Canada to Brazil, everyone was mandatory on the mask in the Americas, that's when the fucking shit hit the fan with our anxiety. That's when the rate of the metellus jumped up. Because why? If you're listening, you excited them. We all excited the metellus. We got them all excited with our anxiety and our fear. How can you scare that many people? Well, make them all wear masks. Put it on every fucking news channel, every news outlet. I want it everywhere. And then once they see this, they'll all be shitting their pants, and the metellus will go up. Therefore, they now, even the younger people, even the people with decent immune systems, will now start fucking dying here and there. Okay? Same things with Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is a metellus, by the way, people. And I'm not just adding these things at whim. Believe me, there's a lot of things that I'm still looking to prove. I cannot prove that metellus is kidney stones. There's a lot of sicknesses and ailments that I'm working on. It might be an electrometellus that even causes the kidney stones. I'm going to find that out. I'm working on some of them. But that one is a definite. Alzheimer's is also a definite. And I was saying. Okay, so you're exciting them, you're turning them on, and then now, I was talking about my family thing. Somebody was giving me a dirty look for not wearing a mask. I've been sitting in my car, and he's looking at me dirty because if you don't wear a fucking mask, that's what you get, man. You get ganged up on. They'll beat your fucking ass down in the middle of a store, and then call the cops, and you'll get arrested because you don't have a fucking mask on. Bunch of fucking zombie retard motherfuckers. Anyways, so family. So then on my side, and I just lost one in the last few days. These are not all metellus. I'm sorry, not Lion Mama Kona 19 metellus. They're all different metelluses that they're dying from. It's the Lion Mama Kona 19 virus metellus is the only one that's getting added to the numbers. It's the only one, if you happen to have that strain of it, you will get added to the numbers so that they can make a statistic out of you. But otherwise, no. Listen, I don't want to name names, but on my wife's side, none of them died of the corona this year either. No one died of the corona. She had one uncle that got it, but he made it through and he didn't die from it. So when you look at that situation and you add up her numbers on her side, no deaths, Lion Mama Kona deaths, but all the other ones were all pneumonias, flus, respiratory issues that led to other issues, okay? And then whatever the issues might be, they all stemmed from the lung issues. On my side of the family, it was 2, 3, 4, last year. No, because my name was Mike. So maybe 5 or 6 for me last year, somewhere around there. I don't want to forget anybody because that would be pretty shitty of me. And then this year, now 4 for me this year as well. So out of the 4 that died this year, only one uncle, very close to me. I love him very much. I'll miss him very much. That's a whole nother fucking episode series for the series, because us being able to connect with that energy when it leaves the bio realm and all that, there's a lot of fun stuff to discuss in there that you can go and experiment with and experience for yourselves. That again, you're not taking my I'm not a wizard. I'm not claiming to be a wizard or no, it's all electrical. I'm not even claiming to be an electrician. I just know about electricity enough to know and feel what I see and hear and all that kind of shit. So anyways, yeah, none of them. So all again from pneumonias. Uncle P, it's, I'm not going to say their names, but Uncle P, that was a pneumonia. Pneumonia led to a heart attack. My cousin, who was my best friend growing up, who I keep breaking down every fucking day, and I have these 3-hour fucking sobbing spells and everything like that, because watching all this go down around me, very fucking sad, man, to watch all this happen. And we could have stopped all this. We could have controlled all this. This is what you wanted, Ziggy. This is what you fucking want. Will you keep turning your back on all the shit that I'm telling all you and not going looking for yourself? Then of course it's gonna happen that way. So then you turn your fucking back on it, and then you're gonna be surprised about it later. And then in 2020, this Lion Mama COVID-19 virus pandemic fucking pops up, and no one scratches their head and says, let's see, 200 million fucking people, baby boomers of this age, between, mostly taken out, where the ages between, gee, that's funny, that's all my fucking age. You didn't think that to yourself? You must have by now. I mean, unless you're still so interested in dinosaurs and space aliens that you're not really sitting back and thinking about things. Look at the picture, man. Look at the fucking picture. Don't just look at the picture. Really look at it. All angles, from all angles. Same way I'm telling you about when you think you see the fucking dinosaur, or when you think you see God, or when you think you see the space alien. I say stop, rest your eyes for a minute, and then look at it again from all angles, and be honest with yourself about what you see. See feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast, over and over and over and over again. Plenty of evidence. Plenty of evidence that it's nothing to do with space aliens. Plenty of evidence that you were not made in fucking God's image. Plenty of evidence that you can see the nanocarbon builders for yourself. Plenty of evidence that what the images that they like to build in every environment, from water, ice, the moon, what you think is outer space, the veil itself, they're the builders. Will you look? Will you look, please, Ziggy?